Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories coming up on today's show. The Broncos held their 2012-13 AGM this week, and despite a positive effort out on the ice and more fans in the stands, the club is reporting a cash loss of $13,535. The Chris Bottom Air was no match for this group of hardy volunteers who participated in the 5th annual Go Green Friday. The 7th annual Ranchman's Ridin and Recitin drew a crowd to Swift Current, as participants of all ages took to the arena in a variety of events. Thanks for joining us here today. The Swift Current Broncos are reporting a financial loss for the past season. We find out why in today's top story. The Swift Current Broncos have seen both sides of the financial spectrum over the past several seasons and are slowly rebounding to secure footing. From a loss of over $197,000 in 2010 to a profit of over $4,000 in 2011, the organization is holding its ground. The Broncos held their 2012-13 AGM this week, and despite a positive effort out on the ice and more fans in the stands, the club is reporting a cash loss of $13,535. Liam Choo-Foo is the board chair and indicates the major hurdle of the year surrounded the Autumn Fun Fest, which generated a loss of close to $100,000.
We got very involved on the fundraising side and got extremely ambitious. We took on a major world-class event with Dwight Yoakam coming in for the Autumn Fun Fest, and we wanted to have a celebration with Southwest Saskatchewan and unite together around the Broncos and around Dwight as a big kickoff to the season. And it was all of that. It's just that not enough people came.
Facility naming rights also took a hit in the last year to the tune of $50,000.
There was a 10-year agreement signed, and the revenues for the first 5 years came directly to the Broncos around that. For the second 5 years, what happened was the revenues went towards the new clock and the video. So, you know, it's an investment in the building and certainly the game day experience. But as a revenue stream, it's $50,000 less that we had as revenue.
A paper loss was also noted by the board in the area of $128,000 from the Broncos Education Fund liability.
Well, what it means for every player, every year that they play in the WHL, we will advance them 1 year of education at a university. The cost is about $7,300 per year per player at this point in time. What's really changed this year is that across the league we've seen an uptake on the number of players that are taking advantage of that scholarship. A lot of them used to not. They used to go on and play professional sports or go off and work.
Meanwhile, hockey operations revenue were up over the last year with $46,000 more in gate revenues. Concessions were up by $13,000, and both 50/50 and alcohol sales saw an increase. Corporate sponsorship also brought in an increase of $45,000 from the previous season. A trend which the board and management hope to continue through the coming year, with a broader cross-section of fans in the stands, and fundraising efforts reverting to the tried and true.
Well, I think what we learned from the Dwight Yoakam experience is that our core business is hockey. We do need fundraising to supplement, but our focus and our key is going to be around fundraising events that will bring more people into the building. So you see the sellout Saturdays that we're now promoting. Doesn't mean we're going to back off from PBR or some of our other after parties. Those will continue, but we'll be going more with the tried and true fundraisers and trying to focus more around our core business of hockey.
And as the organization hopes to see more fans in the stands this season, they encourage you to find out more about the Saturday night sellouts and other ticket promotions. These details are available through the Broncos office and the stable. We've enjoyed your photos and story ideas all summer, and now we want to see what's happening this fall. Send us your back-to-school photos, your autumn scenery, and other unique images. And you could be a part of the new My SWTV feature at the end of the show. Email us today to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. This construction site is just one example of risks being taken by entrepreneurs in order to follow their dreams. Noy Lim is an entrepreneur in southwest Saskatchewan turning his ideas into a reality. Lim saw an opportunity in the town of Maple Creek and, with the help of his wife, friends, and business partners, decided to restore the historic commercial hotel. With the project totaling close to $1 million, there's a lot on the line to make this project a reality. Lim explains what attracted him to this opportunity.
Well, actually, when we ran the restaurant in this building in 2009 and 10, I saw that the building has a huge potential if it is brought to its former, glory, like how it looks like before. So I told myself and some of my friends, like, given an opportunity, if we could get this building, give justice to its being old, it's a good business to run.
In the town of Maple Creek, heritage and staying true to one's roots is an important aspect of the community. The historic nature of this town gives it a unique feeling while you're there. With the commercial hotel being one of the oldest and largest in the community, Lim strongly believes it's the town's greatest treasure. Renovations are being made to almost every aspect of the building, with the inspiration coming from the Grand Union Hotel in Montana. These changes will give the hotel a Western Victorian theme, reflecting the history of the town. And having over 25 years of experience in the hospitality industry, making the transition to a business owner was a simple one for Lim.
You get the freedom from being, an employee. So you're limited when you're an employee, but you take more responsibilities when you're already an entrepreneur. But you create jobs. You get 100% freedom with your imagination, without saying you can't do that, because you're already the one running it.
Over the months, the original business plan has changed. And due to popular demand from local residents, Lim has decided to open the restaurant and dining room before completing the renovations to the third floor. He further adds the project was made possible through Community Futures Southwest, who has stood behind him since he first pitched the business plan.
Community Future was one of the people behind how this became possible. Without their help, I think we won't be, having this project. They found that the project is doable, feasible, and very important to the town, and they said, we're in.
Thanks to Community Futures Southwest, success stories such as the commercial hotel are becoming more common across the region. Community Futures Southwest helps business owners with financing and business training, making dreams become a reality. Contact their office today. Building community pride and being kind to the environment are the focus of a one-day event held every year in Swift Current. We have more in this report. The Chris Bottom Air was no match for this group of hardy volunteers who participated in the 5th annual Go Green Friday. The annual initiative is led by Stark Marsh and brings together the firm's staff and others from the community to tackle a range of jobs throughout the day. From laying down mulch, planting trees, to tackling weeds along the creek bank. An event which not only beautifies the city, but also builds a sense of community.
Yes, it is, yeah, and I think we have the same crew that basically has been working on the creek bank for a number of years, and so we're looking forward to it again.
This is a brand new task. The last couple of years when it's been on, I've been doing other things, so it seems like this somebody else got this job. I heard last year that it was quite a bit of work, and so I thought, you know what, if we're going to have our staff out doing that, I better do it myself. So this year when I had a chance, jump right in and we'll plant some trees.
A major undertaking during the day involved the Swift Current Watershed Stewards and their task along the creek bed at Elmwood Park, as volunteers wore hip waders and rubber boots to remove an invasive plant species known as the bindweed.
Well, we've kind of picked a site that's heavily invaded with the field bindweed, and we're just going to do this on this site to see how it works. We're employing some bioengineering concepts, so we're using existing vegetation on site in order to stabilize some of that erosion that's happening. And also the vegetation that we're putting in place that came from the PFRA program, it's special vegetation that does a dual job of existing in a riparian area to do that bank stabilization that I talked about, but it's also providing habitat and food for wildlife. So we're creating an area that's going to be welcoming to birds and provide food for birds through, berries and such that are left over in the winter.
And as the over 100 volunteers worked on the various project shifts throughout the day, the teams were rewarded with a lunch hour barbecue and a sense of pride in giving back to their community. A mandate which is close to the heart of Stark Marsh.
One of the things that we've thought about is with the Swift Current Creek, and if you follow the path of the creek, it really goes through our whole area that we service. All our clients are in that area, so we feel it's an important project that we want to be involved with, and they have a lot of things that they need done, and we got the manpower that we can help them out.
The Go Green Friday is led by Stark Marsh every September, addressing a range of environmental initiatives throughout the day.
I declare the Mixed Casino open on behalf of the
W.W. Smith Insurance has reached a milestone as it celebrates its centennial. Having served Southwest Saskatchewan for the past 100 years, W.W. Smith Insurance is your motor license issuer, while specializing in all of your personal and commercial needs, including home, auto, agro, business, and life insurance. W.W. Smith Insurance, independently owned and operated since 1913. We've enjoyed your photos and story ideas all summer, and now we want to see what's happening this fall. Send us your back-to-school photos, your autumn scenery, and other unique images. And you could be a part of the new My SWTV feature at the end of the show. Email us today to contact us at SWTVnews.com. The ranching lifestyle was recently in the spotlight at Swift Current Kinetic Park. We bring you all the highlights in this report. The 7th annual Ranchman's Ridin and Recitin drew a crowd to Swift Current, as participants of all ages took to the arena in a variety of events. From stock dog trials, the cattle pen show, heavy horse event, to the youth cattle competition. A fun-filled family event while giving the public a glimpse into the everyday activities out on the ranch.
These are events that happen in ranches all across Western Canada, basically, and the States. And we just wanted to showcase what these ranchers can do, and it gives everybody a chance to get together, plus show the public what's happening out in the ranch land.
A well-rounded event which culminated with a youth awards ceremony and evening entertainment, including local rancher Bryce Burnett and his cowboy poetry. A talent which he hopes to pass on to future generations.
At events before, we've had more cowboy poetry during the event, but this year we thought we'd put more cowboy poetry towards the youth and try and do some cowboy poetry that the youth can relate to and pull them into that realm a little bit too.
The Ranchman's Ridin and Recitin has become an autumn tradition, drawing in participants and spectators from across the Southwest. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwestvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.